I don't know, is this working? People can hear me all right?
Yes. Can you lift it? Just lift it.
Lift it? Oh, there you go. That's a little bit better. Good. So I will just introduce myself again for those who were not here yesterday. I'm a Kenyan. I was born in Kenya. I was born in Eldoret. My father was principal of Masoriot Teachers College. So I'm a Kalenjin, and for those of you who can see me a little bit, my Kalenjin name is Kablimo. And you will see it, I have even evidence of it. You can see that I have my gap between my teeth, my lower teeth. They knock them out when you're a kid so that they can put the straw in when you get old and your jaws get clenched. So so my father was set up many schools in the Nandi district. And then he went and worked for the Bishop Barech of AIC Church for many years in Nairobi, and he was also pastor of Zawani Church, the English service there. My mother set up a charity for refugees in Nairobi, and though they've retired, they actually transferred that refugee work to an American group who continue that refugee work in Nairobi, where my mum started having the refugees making clothes and making objects for sale in our garden, and I would go out and give them food, and so my mum would take those things they made and go and sell them but she would often spend a lot of time in the police station trying to get them out of prison, because they were living in the slums, and because they had no papers, my mother was the police were always taking them in. So that's a bit about my background. I was at school at St Andrew's School, Turi. Then I went on to did my university in England. I did a degree in construction management, and worked in the UK for a few years. And then I moved to Czechoslovakia just after the communism fell apart there, and it opened up, and I moved into Czech Republic, and I started my company there in real estate development. And what I can show you is a little bit of what I've been doing there. Let's see if this goes this way. There's a little bit about me. You can read more about me. This is just a timeline of the various projects that we have done. But we have done over 600,000 square meters, so for you Americans, that's 6 million square feet of space, both mainly commercial space. This is one of the first projects. Does this actually have a pointer on it? It doesn't. Okay. So what we have, let's go back. So this one is, you have the European Union, Bank of Scotland, and Clifford Chance are tenants in here. This was the first A-grade office building built in Prague. If you haven't been to Prague, if you come to Europe, we really highly recommend it. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's an amazing place. You'll see some pictures later. This is a business park that I built. This is another quite a big scheme we built over the underground, and it was a very complicated project. This was those who have kids and have been to London and gone to Hamleys. Do people know what Hamleys is? The toy store? Some of you will do. It's the oldest British, very famous toy store in Regent Street in London, and now they've expanded across the world, and they've actually built in this building the largest toy store in the world. So if you come to Prague, you can always get something for your kids to take back. That's the idea. In Prague, it's quite interesting. We have 2 million people living in Prague, but we have over 6 million visitors a year. It's one of the most popular places in Europe to visit. So this is, we do a lot of small shopping centers across Czech Republic and Slovakia. We do large shopping centers, This is a very big project in Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia, right in the very city centre. It's getting on for over $300 million investment. This is an office project we're working on. This project is under construction at the moment. It's a 3-story small shopping centre, local shopping centre with offices on top. This is a big scheme. We're working with a Dubai group to redevelop a spa town, a very famous spa town. Here's a small office scheme. We even develop our own hotel, and we actually manage this hotel and operate it ourselves. It's in the heart of Prague. That gives you just a little bit. There's a lot more projects we've done, but that just gave you a little bit of an overview. About 5 years ago, after selling quite a few of my properties in the Czech Republic, I took some of my profits I'd made and started investing in Kenya. And we are now, this is one of the projects that we are looking to do. This is a scheme in Upper Hill where we'll be building retail and serviced apartments using a international brand. We will be discussing this one with you further in the future. But what I wanted to do is, this was one of the projects you will see maybe on your tables. We've put this here, and we've got a lot more brochures over in the corner there. This is the kind of product we're developing, and I'm interested to get feedback from the Kenya diaspora as to what's your interest and what sort of experience have you had investing in Kenya. I hear some has been successful, but others has been a disaster. Reliability and trust is a big problem in Kenya. We've got quite a big team. You'll see my team in a moment there. This project is going to be the first really high-rise modern residential building in Kenya. It's in Upper Hill, where there's absolutely a huge number of corporates, embassies, but no residential at all, no good quality residential. There is a very old service department complex there of about a few apartments. They have a huge waiting list. They get $2,500 to $3,000 a month for it's nice, but it's quite old style apartments. And they have a big waiting list. And this is, as we all know, the traffic in Nairobi is one of the best in the world for getting nowhere. It's horrendous, and Upper Hill is more bad than anywhere else. And I live in Upper Hill and work in Upper Hill, and to get out of there, I go and just get out a piggy, and I get on the back of the piggy, and the guy takes me, the courier guy, he takes me out because you can't get out otherwise. But so walking to work is really something a lot of people now want to do, because to sit in the traffic for an hour to 2 hours, which could normally take you 10-15 minutes, doesn't make sense any longer. So this is a project which you will see, and I'll show you in a moment. So we're doing it really high-end, high quality, is idea of the reception area. We've got up on the top, you will see on the right-hand side the elevation, 2/3 of the way up. We've got a very interesting sky bar, where there's going to be a swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, a nice bar on the outside, Turkish bars in there. We've got, this is the floor plans, they're basically 2-bedroom floor plans, but you will notice that the one on the left here can be split into a studio unit and a 1-bedroom unit. So we have 1 bedroom, you could buy the whole thing, and either rent it as a 2-bed or rent it as a 1-bed and a studio. And the same is true for the other one on the other side. It's a similar concept. So it's a lot of flexibility. You can rent it out 2-bed, or as a studio, or the 1-bed. So that makes it very efficient. What I failed to tell you was that, if I could just go back, all the way up to the Sky Bar, these will be fully furnished apartments. And then above the Sky, those are the executive floors. Above the Sky Bar is VIP. In the VIP, we're doing a higher quality finish, but also there are services that we will provide. So you get like exclusive lift, you get a members club and bar, champagne bar, you get a special parking area, you get your own dedicated entrance lobby as well. So this is the added services for the VIP. And then so we will provide, so if a buyer wants to buy it, we can provide a fully packaged service or partial package service. We can do the rent collection, we can put together find the tenants for you, we can manage, we can do changeovers. We've got two people, I got Sam Simons, it doesn't come out very clearly, but it's more clear in the brochures. We have got very qualified people who've worked in the company, in the hotel business. This is a VIP package, which you can read in the brochure as well. You can see the location is fantastic. It's just next to, between Valley Road and Ngong, just near Fairview Hotel. I'm sure everyone knows where Fairview Hotel is, and Pan Afric. And it's within easy walking distance of both the CBD and also the whole of Upper Hill. Sitting between Milamani and Upper Hill. So it's a fantastic location with great views. This is another project we're doing. There was Nairobi City Council did a tender last year for 7 pieces of land that they own around the city. We were one of the bidders, and we won this project one out of the 7 projects that were awarded. This is a fantastic. Thankfully I got the best one. This is, in my view, this is next to Junction Shopping Centre, if those who know the Junction, on Ngong Road going out to Karen. In fact, it's just 100 metres from the Junction. So you're sitting in just very close to Lavington, and there's the whole area going out to Karen. It's a very, very popular area. We plan here to build 3,500 units. It's a drive by the Nairobi City Council now to develop mid to low income housing. They put the land in. Thankfully, they're not a JV partner. All they do is put the land in, and from every sale, we give them 15% of each sale. So we control it, we manage it, and we develop the whole project. So this is a scheme I'm using because I tried to use South African architects, but they have no idea how to develop these kind of complexes, because in South Africa, they just spread out. They don't go up. In Kenya, the Kenyan architects haven't had this experience yet of doing this sort of complex, high-rise master planning. And so I went to Turkey, and I've used Turkish architects those who've been to Istanbul will know that Istanbul is full of projects like this, and they're very, very competent, very professional. So this has been really nicely designed, getting fantastic views, looking over Jamhuri Park, looking towards the Ngong Hills as well. And we've got full facilities here. There's going to be a school, playgrounds, a medical, fire station, police station. We're actually working with the county to develop a new Naivasha town. So this will be a new lake town with all facilities. So this will have, there's 274 acres. We'll have retail, conferencing hotels, schools, everything in there, and residential, of course, like leisure residential. We'll be building, I'm sure you have it in the United States, we build these nice apartment blocks or private houses around swimming pools. So you have clusters of housing and residential units around the swimming pool. Because as we all know, and it's now very, very popular for Kenyans from Nairobi to go down to Naivasha for the weekend and to spend a long weekend down there. It's a very popular thing at the moment. So the other thing we're working on, just to show you, as you know, in Europe we've done shopping centres, so we are now working on identifying plots and land in Nairobi. So find a local government school or government hospital or clinic, and we will do a major refurbishment for those. One of the things I am looking for, and maybe some people here can help me, is we're looking for charities and donors who can provide equipment, medical supplies and equipment for the schools and for the clinics that we'll be refurbishing. So we'll do all the refurbishment. If you've been to some of them, they are absolutely disgusting. They're old, they're terrible, they're falling down. So we will be, as part of our giving back for each development we do, will be repairing and renovating a school or a medical center. But we would like to have support from other agencies who can actually furnish them and provide furniture or medical equipment, etc. So that gives you an idea. So I'm very interested to, if you've got any questions, I'm interested particularly how we could help the diaspora, how we can actually satisfy some of your concerns and worries, and how we could package something that would suit you. Yes, David.
Oh, yes. Would you comment on financing? Because I think the majority of projects in the bank, especially in the US, they would do this financing arrangement. Is that something you can comment on?
Financing is something that I know that some of the Kenyan banks have been over here to come and talk to you guys about providing mortgages. KCB, I think National Bank as well did. So I've been in discussion with them. So there are those products, but there are potential products that we can do here. And I've been talking to some of your colleagues here who are considering how you can set up using a trust, an investment trust that you can use in America, like your pension fund trust. So I'm looking to discuss with some of the SACCO organizations, the Diaspora SACCO organization, and see how we can arrange funding and financing with you. So again, be very pleased to get some feedback from you how that could be done.
I have a question. You mentioned that you're challenged finding architects that can design the type of buildings you're looking to design in Kenya at this time. Are you partnering with any universities, or are you partnering with people in Kenya to make sure you build that capacity in Kenya, so that in the future, we could definitely have those people with those qualifications and skills. And for us here in the diaspora, what I would love is for you to think about maybe doing internships over the summer for our college kids who are interested in architecture. Bring them over to Kenya so they can experience this, because we want them to have the same passion we have for Kenya. Bring them over to Kenya for an internship and show them the kinds of things that are doing, because this is the new Kenya. It's not the same Kenya we grew up in. But our kids also need to come there because they're the potential folks who are going to buy these buildings if they can fall in love with them.
Thank you. Yes is the answer. I am very keen to empower Kenyans to make sure that we can in the future do these ourselves. I employ Kenyan architects directly as part of who work for Lordship. I've actually sent them over to Turkey. They are working. I've set up my own office in Turkey, so I've sent the Kenyans to be there to learn how it's done there, so that we don't have to use the Turkish architects in the future. Yes, but I mean, it's very important, having spent more than 35 years of my life in real estate, and as you all know, to get the right professional is really important and the right thing in the beginning. And this experience doesn't exist in Kenya at the moment. But we are developing that, and we certainly wish to do further projects like this in the future.
Closely tied to what the friend of ours has just asked, I wish to know the Central Park project and also the Fairview one. Skyscrapers, for lack of a better word, high-rise residentials, unheard of in Kenya. Building codes currently as they are, do they really support this kind of projects? And how were you able perhaps to convince the county government to actually allow you to come up with these ideas and designs? And then secondly, at what stage are we in terms of their development? Have we already broken ground, or is it still a concept that you're working out currently?
Okay, thank you. So it's a very good point. The City Council and they're just in the process of doing a new master plan for Nairobi. I'm sure a lot of you know about it. The intention is to go skyward rather than to go out, because the infrastructure in Nairobi has never been really properly updated in terms of road access and rail. There is a lot of work being done by Nairobi City Council with the World Bank to try and utilize the railway lines so that you can put commuter lines in for people to get around Nairobi. So they are pushing us to go higher and higher buildings. In fact, they are the ones telling us to go even 30 floors plus, because they say, you know, it's better to have people living near to the work rather than having more and more traffic congestion by going further and further out of Nairobi. Yes,
thank you very much. I think you've given us a quality presentation, which is very impressive. A couple of comments here or questions, if I may. On the Karen Hills project, we know there is no sewer system there.
Mm-hmm.
So are you having an extended sewer system for the whole subset of position, or is each of the individual plots going to have their uncontrolled septic tank that is a big mess? That's one question. The other comment is that I see you are pushing very hard on high-rise buildings, and we do realize power issues in there. So in the event of blackouts, do you have mitigation systems in place so that you can get up there to their houses when you don't have power? Third question is that we know there's a bottleneck in the septic system in Nairobi. The system was designed in 1961. Population is very small. Now we have so many people. There's a bottleneck in terms of getting the sewer system to the dumping area. Is that something that you talk to the city council and be aware of those limitations?
Okay. I'll try and answer three questions for you. One is the sewage system in the Karen Hills system. The other one is the electricity issue of enough power. And the third one was the general sewage system in Nairobi and how we're dealing with that. So for Karen Hills, yes, every house has to put in their own septic tank. They are very modern systems, as I'm sure you know. They're small, you put them under the house and they cater for the whole sewage, and they treat it, it's a self-treating plant, and the water is treated and goes out as grey water, which services the garden and does all the gardening for you as well. So we are very, very much eco-friendly, trying to make sure there's no wastage of water, so that it's always being multiply reused, including rainwater catchment. We do all the rainwater catchment as well. So it's one of the rules for the Karen Hills. And for Central Park, because of the problem you just mentioned, that the Nairobi sewage system has not been updated for a very long time, we're actually providing a complete sewage works on the site ourselves. So we're doing the complete facilitation of all sewage, and thankfully modern plants are very compact and very small. So our infrastructure engineers have basically put together a system that we can have underground here, and we can reutilize that water, which is what I'm very pleased about, that we can use it for all the planting and for all the greenery area there too. So yes, this is very important. Electricity, thankfully, as you know, Kenya's investing, the government's investing a lot of money, encouraging a lot of money into new power. There is going to be, thankfully, with all the thermal power and solar panel power that's coming on board, within the next 5 years, 7 years, we're going to see a big change. We're going to see electricity prices dropping. Already, manufacturing companies are looking at Kenya and we're even looking at big industrial parks in the expectation of electricity prices dropping considerably and being much more reliable. It's still a problem today, so yes, of course, we have to provide diesel generators in each of our projects for the blackouts. There is unfortunately no other solution today, but we are very positive and we believe very much in what the Kenya government is doing. Yes, sir.
Real quick, my name is Benjamin Construction Jolly. You want to know what Diaspora is looking for in order to invest back home.
Yes, please.
One is integrity. A lot of our folks have lost money trying to buy properties back home because they can't get the title and the system cheats them and they don't do enough due diligence. What are you doing to certify that what you're selling is indeed good and we can bank on it?
So the question now was that how the experience of Diaspora and that people have invested back there and have been cheated and found out that they didn't get proper title deed and they've had other issues, I guess, with connections with water and sewage, etc. And then what are we doing about it? Well, as you know, in Nairobi, in the Kenyan market, you actually sell, you basically get 20% up front, and then at stages during the whole project you get 20%. Now we are going to look for ways in which we can arrange, if we do dollar funding and dollar financing, because the great thing about this project here is that it's in a market where there is really good it's in a market where you get dollar rentals. So you can invest in dollars, you get dollar rentals back out of it. So we're looking at how we can arrange funding and financing. We're talking with some people here who can help us to put together a financial package which will actually be secure for you.
If you have any other projects, I know you have numerous projects all over the world, I guess. Do you have any other projects in other parts of East Africa?
The question was, do we have any other projects in East Africa? Not at this moment. I'm just totally concentrating on Kenya. I certainly look to go into East Africa, but I will not go beyond East Africa. I'm only going to go do Kenya and East Africa. So for the moment,
My second part is, being that I'm originally from Uganda, would I have a problem purchasing one of your properties in Kenya?
No, you wouldn't have a problem at all, because in Kenya, the system we're setting up, anyone can purchase property in Kenya from anywhere in the world, so you can have direct access for a unit in Kenya. It's not a problem. And it is a very good system that Kenya has, that it's very open for foreign investors to come and buy properties directly.
Just
Yes.
one last one for me,
go on.
sorry. When it comes to the Current Hills project, I stand corrected, but I believe it has been on the market for quite some time now. And will I be right to say that it has proven a hard sell, and what are the underlying factors behind that? Because ever since I heard about it, because I believe it's the one located next to the African International University on the other side of it, what has proven so hard for this project when it comes to actually selling it out? I stand guided.
Well, I would actually say it's been very successful. I would turn it around. We've actually got 60 plots of 1 acre at the top of the market. So finding people who can invest around 35 plots. So most schemes are 5, 6, 9 plots. You know, they're little old schemes, and often they're smaller. They're half-acre plots. So what we've got here, we've also been very selective. We've been very avoided politicians buying in the place. We've tried only to get businessmen to buy in the place. I'm actually going to be living there myself as well. So I don't want hundreds of police cars and other things and politicians disobeying all the rules and regulations and unable to control them. So we're being very set. But no, it's been on the market for quite a few years, but we are selling like 1 plot every 2 months. And to be honest, that's extremely good for this scale of market. It's a very big project. You know, if it was just 10 plots or 10 acres, we sold many years ago. So it's just a lot of plots. And what we're doing now is we're actually going to build houses. So having these houses coming on, which are beautiful houses, we've really spent a lot of time. And we're
is brought to the country on behalf of the farmer directly. We don't have any middle people in that. So let's do this real quick because I think we've run out of time. But before I do that, I think it's good to recognize this gentleman here. His name is Jeff. Jeff is a Kenyan, just like us. He believes in kahawa. We've gone with him to the kahawa farms in Kenya. He knows them like black and white. So thank you, Jeff, for adopting us. So yeah, it's just about kahawa. We just said kahawa here too. It's drink coffee, drink kahawa. Who are we? We are a direct-to-farm importer of East African coffee with a focus on Kenyan cooperative farms and their sustainability and well-being. That means everything we do here, we do it because of that farmer. We are based in Jacksonville, Florida, and that's where we do our controlling of all the coffee, the manufacturing of the Kahawa-branded coffee in the US and abroad. We have an experienced and diversified team of American and Kenyan innovators that understand the coffee category and its potential for continued growth. We are relationship driven in all aspects of this life. Now, the source of this coffee. Kenya is a top 10 in the world coffee bean. Kenyan coffee is a crucial sector for the Kenyan economy, ensuring a reliable supply. Our rich mountainous soil and hand-cultivated crops ensure quality and uniquely flavored beans. Drawing from 700,000 independent farmers and cooperatives results in consistent supply to our Jacksonville port facility. And I think right about now, how many containers do you have coming back in?
I have 4 containers in right now. I have a few more on their way. I have some in Long Beach, California, and in Jackson.
And that is the coffee from the farmers directly.
Wow.
Yes. So production in 100-pound lots results in paper aroma and consistent taste in each and every packet. And you guys are witness. It's there. You took it since yesterday. So we have the coffee. Kenyan, for that matter. Kahawa is committed to helping improve Kenyan farmers' lives by purchasing directly from their farm, from them, or their cooperative societies, not by layered auctions or middlemen. We ensure more income reaches Kenyan farmers than open market trading, common among most US coffee companies. We support Kenyan women entrepreneurs through branded kiosk businesses. We also sponsor a local orphanage. There's a school running right now in Kenya that is supported through this venture, serving approximately 500 kids. We export justly to allow for affordable consumption overseas. Now, in the diaspora, of course, because of that Kenyan element, I have decided to be very bullish about this. So I told Jeff, this is my market, and I'll work with it and take it to where it's supposed to get to. So I work with him and others, and I do the marketing within the diaspora. Of course, we have Jeff, who's a part of us, and we have the other gentleman, he's in Kenya right now, Simon Nyaga, who's a part of this operation. That's our coffee. We have the bright, we have the house roast, and we have the bowl roast. And that's where we operate from Jacksonville, and to those points that are shown, what has not been shown out here is a Californian location. So that's basically what we have. And if there's any question, we are here to take one or two. Please.
How do you package your coffee? Because some products they get it from Kenya, when they get to the US, they're packaged with US names and brands and all that stuff. Thereby the Kenyan name disappears. How do you package in yours?
Ours is clear. We call it kahawa. We brand it using our own name. We don't
What
do
about
Kenya.
the the manufacturer and all
It,
that stuff?
no, it's on the label. If you look at it right there, it's 100% Kenyan coffee. It's written out there for everybody to see, and the source is even the picture of a farmer in Kenya doing that. Yes.
The coffee comes in green, and we roast it. Our roasting facility is in Jacksonville. So we roast it and package it in Jacksonville, which we own fully as well, just to keep the costs down. If you look at a pie of everything that goes into a cup of coffee and all the different inputs, what we noticed was there's an inequality on the farmer's side. And the only way we saw the best way to fix that is by removing middlemen out of it and then taking equitably what people have put into this source and sharing the funds in that fashion.
Yes.
Question minor from Kenya. I wanted to ask, why don't you give back to the community by roasting our coffee in Kenya? You set like a factory within a particular county where the coffee is being grown, and then you bring it to US when it's already packaged, because that is part of value.
And we've looked into that. Our biggest problem is a container sits on the seas for anywhere between 45 and 60 days. We look at about a 6 to 9 month shelf life on roasted coffee. When you grind it, it goes a little bit less. So with those variables, it becomes more challenging. The FDA is a little more challenging when you're bringing in a final product versus taking a green raw product and turning it into a final product in the United States. But at some point, we are very, very interested into doing something like that, particularly with the K-Cups. Maybe because those have a longer shelf life, they put nitrogen inside of the ground coffee in there, so it keeps them last a little bit longer. But it's something that we've all explored. We've looked at some places off of Mombasa Road, just try to put together something where we could be roasting and packaging it in Kenya.
Patrick, once again, I wish to know how Kahawa Yetu fares in terms of pricing here or in the markets that you do supply compared to the other brands from other nations. And secondly, in terms of profits, how much or what percentage goes back to the farmer? Yesterday we saw from one of the presenters that cocoa in Zambia, I think, or the African country, we have only had 6% are going back to the farmers who actually do toil the ground.
Yeah.
So how does it work when it comes to Kahawa Yetu?
I'll answer part of that question and let you finish up with me. What we actually will not compromise with anybody who's selling coffee in the US is that our coffee is not just any coffee, because we know they use our coffee to do blending. We have maintained our sales and we are very competitive in the market. Of course, we cannot compete with all these people who are putting in the blends in them and having all these shelves within the stores in there. But our coffee, being the Arabica, the 100% pure coffee, our prices are quite competitive, and we are doing well. I think so far we are entering this market in a very big way. We have captured the market in Jacksonville and St. Augustine very, very well. And the other places where we are trying to show you, we have actually penetrated into those. And when these people taste the Kenyan coffee that we actually provide to them, they just walk away from everything else. The second part of the question was how much goes to the farmer?
So back to the profitability, we buy the coffee green directly from the farmers. At this point in our stage, we have a business plan, our market plan that will lead to us bringing more money back to the Kenyan farmers at the end after everything's up and running and more profitable. But we're buying it above the Nairobi Stock Exchange prices. So we're buying the coffee at a premium already from them. And our intent is, after we establish the market, find the best equilibrium price where we can move the most volume and then take some of that money and bring it back to the Kenyan farmers, but not in just a monetary way. Look at what they need. We want to talk to them. Are there shoes, school fees? What is it that they need, and help get those needs taken care of?
But the percentage of the money that goes back to them is relatively almost higher than any other. Because when you look at the margins that we normally have, because we've avoided the middle people in between, we make sure that whatever we sell, and actually their coffee, the gap comes, the bridge comes in as soon as the orders are made from the warehouse facility, because the coffee is owned by them up to that level. When the orders come through, that's when they get paid immediately. Yeah, so. Yeah.
And sorry, it's public knowledge that coffee is run by cartels, the coffee market, globally and from a local perspective.
Right.
How have you been able to actually run your business without actually perhaps getting in trouble with those that have been there for?
They're not happy. They are not happy with us. They're not happy with the way we handle things and what we're doing. But at the end of the day, the only way to fix that problem is economic empowerment of the farmers. Their goal is to keep the farmers oppressed as much as they can, because that gets them to keep getting this great product for almost nothing and then reaping the rewards. So I can't say we're perfect, but we're working our hardest to avoid those, buy it, avoid the manipulation, the distrust, the lying. Short of being able to picking up the coffee and sleeping with it all the way to the port of Mombasa, and then being back in Jacksonville and waiting for it to show up and open up and check every bag, we do the best we can building relationships on the ground and making sure that we are fulfilling our obligation, our mission, to make sure that the farmers are getting equitably paid for their services. And again, going back to it, if we can empower the farmers will stop the cartels. You know, what happens are the cartels lie to them. And it's not their fault that they don't understand and can't see the global market. When someone tells you they're going to give you 80 shillings for a kilo, and the other guy's saying, I'm only giving you 60, of course I'm going with 80. But what happens is, well, we're only going to give you 20 now and then maybe 60 later, and then someone shows up and says, oh, I'm so sorry. The market didn't take the coffee. But it's a complete lie. So our goal is to pay them up front and establish that relationship with technology and really communicate with them heavily.
So in a nutshell, actually what it is when the farmers themselves are the ones who are controlling where the coffee is going. So they know.
2 years when you're very successful, and I buy coffee and I rebrand it and name it Kahawa, you know, how will you protect? You can't protect a noun, right? And a trademark. So I can make coffee and name it Kahawa and sell it here.
Kahawa is trademarked. It can be trademarked. Oddly enough, in 1995, Starbucks trademarked Kahawa originally. But they let it lapse.
Okay.
So we've picked it up from there.
Oh, so it is trademarked. Okay, because as a noun, I think we can.
Yeah, and I agree with it now, but it's because it's Swahili. Yeah. I think there's something about that where we're allowed to pick it up as a trademark.
What if I'm interested in being a distributor for your product?
We have those programs with us, and I think we can actually talk about that in a little while this afternoon.
And I'm very, very interested in whatever we can do to facilitate. I'm just the middle person. I'm nobody in this. I'm the guy that roasts the coffee. This is Kenyon's coffee, you know, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to help and work with everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm just here to facilitate. So any way that we can get this coffee out there and get that money back to the farmers,
Well, actually, I am very excited you said that because, you know, I'm very passionate about my Kenyan students who live in America.
Yes.
So, as I asked my gentleman over there, I would love to work with you to bring some interns so we can walk them through
Absolutely.
the Kenyan coffee here in America so that when they're talking about Kenyan products, they have an understanding of exactly what these products are, what the value is, so that eventually when Ralph steps down, which he's going to have to, you know, I'll have somebody ready to step in his shoes.
Don't say that, but yes, thank you, but that works. I can't do this without Ralph.
So you'll be hearing from me.
Oh, great. I'm excited.
Can I piggyback off of what she said? Would you be interested in also doing tours? Without, like if we've got a little Kenyan community in Atlanta, to get our kids in a bus and drive over and get them to see the experience. Because I remember when we were young, we used to get the House of Manji tour, or you'd go to one of these places in the industrial area, and those memories.
Actually, we have that. For the people who have been interested in being partners with us, we have actually had those tours in our facility in Florida. So we are open. I mean, for us, the success of this project is getting our people know what it is we're trying to do and then give it over to them. So we are open to all of that. We have those kind of programs. We even traverse the country to go to all these places and talk about Kahawa. So we are trying. We're getting to a level, but yes, we're on there.
And even more so, we would love to bring coffee safaris back into Kenya. I've talked to Othaya, I've talked to a bunch of the cooperatives, and they're very, very interested in bringing people out there and seeing what it goes through. It's amazing. The process is, I mean, a lot of you have grown up on it, but for me to walk in and see how they do this, how labor intensive, and how much care and love they have for this little cherry is absolutely breathtaking.
Thank you much. We are having the last cups of the kahawa are almost going away, so enjoy.
Thank you very much, Ralph. That's the beauty of this conference, is the interactiveness. And so you can see we are also trying to mix up business, social, business.